Hey everyone, 11th of July, Tuesday, 3 in the afternoon in Australia. Latest video blog, and I've just decided to just jump on. I've been getting quite a few little private messages and been very busy reading and watching people's reactions in a lot of the forums and in the Telegram groups. And anyone that's in crypto land right now on the 11th of July will remember this date, would be in a sea of red. We've seen the whole market retrace very, very aggressively today. Someone, not necessarily someone, but there was definitely, I've been watching the charts, and there was a bit of a trigger simultaneously across the markets. Early this morning, actually, someone decided to take their money and run, and it sort of set off a big domino. But you know, that's all part of the retracement that we've seen over the last month or so, and it was definitely going to come. And you know, I've been really getting my head down and just trying to work out how far this is going to go. What does it all mean? What are the underlying factors? And what I wanted to do, and I think it's a bit of a role of responsibility for me now. I've come this far on my YouTube channel that I've got to sort of put out my thoughts, and people can do what they like with my opinion and perspective. I'm not coming across as anyone that knows anything better than anyone else, and that's not my goal. It's just to share my thoughts on any particular day in regards to this exciting new technological advancement in our lives. And I think it's a pretty exciting time to be alive and to see what's actually happening with this crypto space. But if we go back to the beginning of the year, and if you were into crypto and you were holding from 2010, 2011, 2000, even the back end of 2013, what you'll notice is that I don't think these people are complaining too much. There was a massive retracement of about 80% over 2014 to 2015, and the market pretty much just went flat. It was like the eye of the storm. And then in April, or even just the beginning of this year, there was a little bit of a murmur, and then there was a bit of just an ongoing steady climb as money was starting to come in, and then there was a bit of an initiation, or what is it? Not an initiation, but I suppose a domino effect in regards to FOMO, and obviously the marketing and the hype got around a little bit, and there was definitely a big influx of corporate money, and even just the normal people like you and me started to dive in, and we saw this massive explosion up to about 115 billion. Now it's pulled back to, even just today, I think we've seen literally about $10 billion taken off the markets in the last 24 hours, that's pretty huge. Bitcoin hasn't been hit as hard. I think it was around about 4 billion. The altcoins were about 9, so that's 13 billion over the last 24 hours. And obviously that goes up and down very, very quickly. So the altcoins are the ones that have been hit harder, which is fairly normal. It's like the silver of gold, really. Silver always has been, moves in price a lot more aggressively than, say, gold would. Obviously Bitcoin's got a bigger market cap, so it's harder to manipulate and move those figures and that market cap and those percentages as it would with a altcoin that doesn't have the same market cap. But we've seen the market caps just drop right down. And I was looking at some of these, some of them are even under 100. I think even if you look at DigiByte, it was about 400, now it's under 83. PIVX was the same. I remember over a month and a half ago they were celebrating getting over $100 million cap. Now it's sitting at 83. But they're not alone. I mean, every single altcoin, apart from one or two literally on the market, is in red. It's down 15% or more. Some of them are down 30, 33. And as I do this video, it's quite obvious to see that it's probably going to keep on going, as that, like, people have a little bit of panic, and anyone that's not that experienced in the altcoins or trading or any of this type of market is definitely going to probably feel the pressure, and you may find them make an emotional decision. So if you're watching this, please don't do that. Sometimes I understand you need to consolidate your position. If you put all your rent money into an altcoin hoping that it was going to times 5 overnight, probably not the smartest decision. And you might need to get that money out so you can survive during the week, but that's probably the only time that you'd ever sell on a loss. Otherwise, you've got to take this one on the chin, and you've got to see it out. Now, why is it actually crashing like this? Well, one, it's just normal. It's just part of the market. It's how it works. There is no doubt after a massive aggressive spike that we saw through April and May, there's no doubt there's going to be a retracement. What's it going to be overall? It could be 30%. We could see this drop down well below 75 billion. It could even come down to 50 billion as a market cap for the whole market. That wouldn't surprise me in regards to this whole alt sector. Now, if that happens, I mean, I'm in a position just like everyone else. You know, our portfolios, if you have been buying over the last month, will look pretty sad. The only option you have, if you believe in this whole sector and you believe in what you've invested in, the only option you really have is to sit on it and hold for the period of recovery. Now, the other option is to buy as you go down. And some people are going to ask me, what do you do and what am I going to do? And I'm probably going to just save up my money and just watch this out, although today is pretty hard not to buy more. So I'm probably going to buy a little bit shortly, and I'm waiting for a little bit of money to clear. And I'll just buy another little bit, and I'll hold back some, buy another little bit if it does drop down. And the way you can do that is just set some prices on the exchange. But these are decisions that you've got to make. At the end of the day, I always say, don't panic. You know, my objective here is always a 2-year plan. I'm looking at the end of 2018, 2019 to 2020. What's going to happen in those 3 years is what it's all about. I don't really care too much for this up and down. I just see this as a massive sale of altcoins and things like that. So this is an opportunity to actually get in at a price that we haven't seen for 2 months. But again, you've got to be prepared that it's going to probably drop some more. It definitely will. There'll be a bit of rebound after today. It could be 10, 15, 20%. But there's no doubt some people are going to take that again and improve their position. So that's the world of trading. It's nerve-wracking. It's stressful. That's why I always say, you've got to have a long-term view. Otherwise, you're just going to get grey hairs and your hair might fall out watching the markets every day. And I think that's what's happened to me. And, I do enjoy it, but it can be a little bit depressing and stressful at the same time. So on the 1st of August, we've got the hard fork, which is pretty much there's Bitcoin. And you've got the mining pools and the witnesses and all of these people who are pretty much responsible for the ins and outs of Bitcoin in a decentralized view, having a little bit of a discussion about which direction to go with Bitcoin, and there's a little bit of uncertainty in regards to what's going to happen on the 1st of August in regards to SegWit. You can go and look this up if you want some of the minor details. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm pretty confident that it'll all work out. I can't see, it's in no one's interests to split Bitcoin. I just can't see why you would do that. They've got to come to an arrangement and an agreement pretty quickly, and I think it'll all go smoothly. And I think what we'll find after the 1st of August will be a massive, maybe a panic sell for some people, and there'll be a panic buy for some, because people will see this great opportunity to buy Bitcoin at a lower price and get in. So we might see some really emotional energy through this whole sector for the next 2 weeks. I mean, it's the 11th of July and August is 1st seems so long away. And I can see the first 2 weeks of August being a little bit horrible as well, because people may be very cautious about re-entering the space. So there's a lot of money going back into fiat at the moment. Some people have just moved straight into Bitcoin. Some people have moved into ETH. Some people have moved into Tether. Some people have just gone straight out of the market and turned it into fiat currency and put it into their bank or whatever they do in their life. So it's a funny time, and it's amazing to watch, because the alts and this whole market moves so quickly. It drops very aggressively and then rebounds very aggressively. So it's one of those exciting times, and like I said, also stressful. So there wasn't much I wanted to talk to you about. I'm not going to speculate about where it's going to go. I think you might see some ups and downs and some retracements. If you are going to get into the market, it's not necessarily a bad time. But I don't like giving out advice. I don't want to be that person that says buy this, buy that. I do share with you cryptocurrencies and crypto assets that I believe in, only because that's what I've invested in, so I'm the one that's got to wear the brunt of that. What you do with your money is up to you. But again, it's exciting, and I think there's a lot to come over the next 2 months. I think we're going to see probably the biggest emotional ride in a 4-month block that you've probably ever seen in alts. For, the next 2 months, or the next month or so, could be just very depressing, and then come October, September, leading into 2018, could be a completely different story. I think a lot of altcoins and things like LITECOIN and Digibyte, and there's a whole heap of particular cryptocurrencies that have got a whole heap of stuff in the woodwork. And I know that Bitshares has just launched a national campaign through the US with a company called, I think it's called Digital Marketing in New York. That started on the 4th of July. It's about getting hitting mainstream with the hero. And yeah, you can look this up on Steem. There's a whole heap of stuff that these guys are doing. But you know what? It takes time. It takes time for it to come forward. There's a lot of ICOs. There's a lot of money being diluted at the moment as well too. So this is where the Webbot report was talking about sloshing, coming in and out. So the attention of one cryptocurrency that was booming a month ago, that some of that money's gone out and maybe has gone into some other areas. At the moment, obviously today, I think it's just gone out of the market and out of the space. So keep your hat on. I keep saying that, but yeah, don't panic. I think if you are in this space for a good return and you're interested in the technology and you're diligent enough to look into it, you've got to be patient. Keep stacking is the only advice I can give. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I think you've got a really, really good opportunity if you do build your portfolio up. And on days like this, it's worth buying some scraps and building up your position. And you know what? If it drops another 10, 15, 20% next week, do it again. And if it does it again after that, do it again. And do it as much as you can over this next month, because it might be the last time that you see some of these prices, because there's no doubt we're going to see an inverse or a reverse to this bearish downtrend. But how long? Well, I'd say month and a half at worst. But again, speculation, isn't it? So I'm going to shut up. That's all I've got to do, all I've got to say today. So don't panic, keep stacking, have a good day, and I'll talk to you in my next video.